Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Karl. A couple weeks ago, I kind of made the joke. I nicknamed myself your host of misinformation. Turns out I was wrong again. We kind of hit some low-hanging fruit last week at the beginning of the show with Paige and the trios thing, and I made the joke that I kept on watching the video over and over and over again. Turns out I was wrong. Apparently, Maddox did eventually get involved, but I guess I just didn't last enough. I didn't last long enough to get to that point. So I am in my 40s. I think it's time for me to make the call. My wife was on to something. She was right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. My name is Karl, your host of misinformation on apparently more than one subject. Thank you for joining us today. As always, we are powered by the Eastern Observer. Oh, you can taste the power. Tastes good today, boys. It's stormy outside. It's raining outside. But we're still talking wrestling. Downstairs on the bottom part of our screen, we have our first ever PWP champion, the living legend, John DeConnie. John, how are things today?
Good. Happy to be here as always. Ready for a fun show.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep the show out of the gutter this week. And on the top part of our screen, as always, to my, I guess on screen is to the right, but I guess to my left. Who knows? I'm just stalling because it came from the video. There it is.
And number 4, John Smith.
John Smith, how are things going today?
Good, man. If you're trying to keep the show out of the gutter, what the hell's Gary doing here?
There you go. Right, it's perfect segue, John Smith, perfect segue. Behind the part of the screen, Gary Mehaffy is back with us this week, off the loo. A wee bit better, I believe, was the quote you used just in pre-production. Gary, how are you feeling today? Glad to have you back.
Doing well, and I was enjoying being back until about 30 seconds ago there, but it's like there'll be my lawsuit will be in the post. It's all right.
There you go. On today's episode, Masha Slamovich looks ready for Bound for Glory. Daniel Garcia goes up against the Jericho Appreciation Society on Dynamite. Oh my God. The Intercontinental Championship will be on the line this Friday on SmackDown. The United States Championship will be on the line next Monday on Raw. Premiere episodes for each show for the new season for a WWE sandwich with a premium live event in between, which we will manage to spend our show with. I'll get to that in a second. We make our picks for this week's upcoming shows, which is always sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And guys, I got to make the phone call. She'll like it too. I'm hoping she will like it too. Now I'm under pressure here. We're going to main event the show, like I said, with making our picks for this week's Extreme Rules. Hoping for a horror show. Here are the Raw roll-ups heading into last week's action. AEW with a 5 roll-up lead on Raw. Impact right behind Raw with 35. SmackDown at 27. It's going to be getting interesting. What do we have? I guess we're on October right now. So October, November, December. We got 3 months left in this competition. Raw's got to get it going. And but we're going to do Curtain Jerk our show with Gary Mehaffy joining us to discuss the pub fight on NXT, which I'm sure Gary has been a part of a few of them back in his younger years.
I can neither confirm nor deny for legal reasons whether I have ever taken part in anything like that. I'm much too honest.
They don't. There's no video cameras in, but it's just another day at the pub. Of course, there's going to be a brawl there. How'd this one turn out, Gary, on your radar? How'd this one look?
It was very, very good. It was hark back, obviously, to a lot of NXT UK days as well. We had Briggs and Jensen over here just at the end, and they were going back and forth. You had Wolfgang a lot of hitting them with the rope, and there were trash cans out, and there were chairs out, and you had just at one point you had I keep calling them Briggs Jensen and get them the wrong way around.
Yes, I do.
Briggs Jensen sending Gallus out of the ring, and then they got set up a table on one side, and there was Gallus and table on one side, not tables all over the place. People begging each other, daring each other to come in. The Briggs and Jensen got the chair. Now, at one point, I do have to say there was GBH committed when they Briggs and Jensen on the outside went to high five each other. Unfortunately, then lifted some glasses and completely just hit Mark Coffey and Wolfgang over the head with the glasses and the pitcher or whatever it was they hit them with. Joe Coffey runs in. They send him through a table that they set up outside earlier on. Wolfgang comes in, but he goes through his table, high-low, and it's a 1, 2, 3. But however, afterwards, Gallus knocking 7 bells out of them afterwards until they managed to get eventually arrested by the police and escorted out. So definitely a good old pub fight there from the Gallus boys. But
yeah, if someone's not getting taken out in handcuffs, then why even fight at a pub? You know, that's get them out of there. I guess immediately it came out later on that night that they are been suspended indefinitely. So it's going to be a wee bit. I guess, am I saying that correctly? Wee bit. Yeah. Okay. Until we see Gallus again. But yeah, I would have lost a lot of money on Gallus in a pub fight against. I guess, like I said last week, Gary. I know you weren't here. You're sick. You know, Briggs and Jensen. They just became best friends at a bar when they first got to NXT. They got into a bar fight of their own, and they've been, happily ever after ever since. So, and then Gary, we missed you last week. It was the big party. Ilya Dragunov came out. He actually started the show last week as well. In-ring promo. He wants to be a part of the title picture. Out comes McDonough saying, "No, you're not jumping the line." And we are Gary, if you saw when Dragunov came out after McDonough's match with Tyler Bate, McDonough's reaction, no, it was just a ghost of hell past right there. Yeah. He hates Dragunov. So McDonough says, "No, you're not jumping the line." Out comes Braun Breaker, who says he'll take on both of them. Little tribute to his uncle with a 33 1/3% chance of winning. Absolutely nice touch by Braun Breaker. He was even smiling while doing it, and the crowd erupted. And then Zion Quinn later in the show, Gary, he ran into Dragunov backstage. Words were exchanged, so they fought about it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Mike. I nearly lost signal there for a minute. No, yep. We it was the interesting thing was I've not seen much of Zion Quinn in the ring, and you look at him and you think he looks like a beast. Yeah. But unfortunately, he was up against I can't really call them the Moscow Mauler. I suppose that would be the right thing to do. We can't reference where he's from. But yeah, we had Dragunov and Quinn going against each other, and it has to be said, while he did finish him off with the torpedo, whatever we want to call the move he did right before it, when he forearm smashed that poor boy right in the face and nearly knocked him out. Even Wade Barrett was like, why are we bothering anymore? Why just finish him off, like put him out of his misery. But yeah, Dragunov moving on to bigger and better things here.
Zion Quinn just seems to be the guy that just constantly falls upward. He never wins, but then he always fights somebody better. Yeah. It's almost like he's like the Mike D'Antoni of freaking professional wrestling. Mike D'Antoni gets fired from a last place job, but for whatever reason, he ends up with a first place team, the next week. Like, how is that? Why are we doing this? Anyway, Quincy Elliott with some encouraging words to Senga after Sanger's loss to Von Wagner the week prior. Senga appreciated it. Zion Quinn walked by, and Quincy wasn't so encouraging with him. Quincy made some snarky comment and walked away. So maybe we have a Quincy Elliott and Zion Quinn. Exactly right. Again, Zion Quinn. I'm waiting for him because he's got the look. He's got the looks that drives the girls wild. Apparently, as the song goes. I mean, I'm sure he's coming out to that song soon. But he's got the size, he's got the build, he's got everything, and I just don't know why he's just not getting. He's got the cool ass name. His initials are XQ. Like how? Like that's awesome. Like that's how. You can't get cooler than that.
Triple word score on that too.
Exactly. John Smith. I won't say it finally came to a head, but I guess part one in the match sequence. Cameron Grimes, Joe Gacy. they're finally getting at it after Kevin Grimes just kept on telling Gacy no after no after no.
Yeah, and then he did his best Daniel Bryan impression at the beginning of this match because he came out with a bunch of kicks to the chest, probably about 15 of them. Then the Dyad pulls Gacy out of the ring to save him. Grimes follows, and then Gacy gets the upper hand. Then Grimes eventually fights his way back. Dyad gets involved again. Gacy gets the upper hand. Rinse and repeat a couple more times, and then by the end of it, it was just too much, and the springboard clothesline by Gacy while Grimes was distracted by both members of the Dyad in two different ways, and Gacy picks up the victory.
John Smith, so we're assuming this is going to be maybe two more matches. How does this culminate? What's the grand finale stipulation match here between these two? Loser leaves, loser, something on a pole. And what are we doing here?
I'd like to see a callback to the Dexter Lumis versus Grimes like House of Horrors match or whatever it was called, where it's Gacy versus him, and now Grimes isn't scared anymore.
All right. Brutus Creed, he defeated Damon Kemp via disqualification after Kemp just wore out a chair on Brutus as he was screaming for Julius Creed, who apparently didn't care enough to come out to help his brother. If I'm Julius, I'm pretty pissed off right now.
He was back there with Humberto Carrillo.
I know, right?
And Kenny Omega.
You're playing cards. Something. Sol Ruka made her debut. She defeated Amalia Miller with a flipping leg drop. Only a matter of time before that move gets named Hang 10. That's what you name that move. Flipping leg drop. It's a Hang 10, dude. Gnarly. It was a gnarly move. Pretty rad. Tonight, let's see where we're going here. Apollo Crews says he isn't finished with Grayson Waller just yet. Waller's a little bugged out and upset that his show tonight on NXT with Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, the Grayson Waller effect, will get ruined. So apparently, I think I missed this. I saw Grayson Waller was upset that Gary, did Apollo Crews have another vision?
Yeah. We had
right.
What do you call it? No, his mates just disappeared. They had all sorts of red eyes and the visions and everything. So
yeah. All right, so the Grayson Waller effect tonight. It's going to be a double doozy. We got one feud as guests, and you got the other feud with the host. So that should be fun. Last Legend and Wendy Chu had a split screen trash talk segment. They'll get at it tonight, John Smith.
I'm going to go with Lash on this one. Wendy Chu seems like the type that can always lose and still keep her status.
All right, John Connie.
Yeah, I have to agree with John Smith there. Lash will take this one.
Right, Gary Lash has been somewhat of a losing streak. I think she lost to Fallon, and then before that, she lost to somebody else.
Is it possible they can both lose?
Yeah.
No, because I love these two. I think they're just what a great bunch of gimmicks they are. No, I do. I think last time I picked Wendy Chu and she did win, but this time I would agree. I think Lash Legend will go over this time.
Okay. Gary, set your DVR tonight. The State of the Commonwealth address with the Yes Boys. Actually, last week we saw a day in the life of Pretty Deadly. They don't get her up early and hit the gym. They get up around like 10 a.m. to hit the gym. And then innuendo after innuendo after innuendo. And then in their endo, hey.
How was there not a picture of Billy and Chuck on the wall?
I assumed that was going to happen. I was waiting on that to happen.
Is Rico Constantino available? Like, can we get Rico back, like, to manage these two? I think that'd be fun. Wesley defeated Tony D'Angelo after a referee stoppage in the North American Championship ladder match qualifier. When Tony B. apparently blew out his knee, West didn't look happy about it. $10 says he wants to have another qualifying match. He didn't earn his spot again. He's gonna. I guarantee you. No, I didn't want to win it that way.
Hey, he blew out his opponent's knee. What more could he have done?
Yeah, West didn't look at it. He's that type of guy. He wants to earn his way. There we go. And the last, so that's gonna be that was spot number 3. Spot number 5. The last spot of the ladder match will go to the winner of match 3 between Nathan Frazier and Axiom. I do not think that is tonight. Still hoping out for a rounds match between the two to cap this off. It doesn't look promising at the moment, but fingers crossed. Hopefully Sean is watching the show. I know Sean Michael's a fan of the show. Sean, if you're listening, rounds match. But the fourth spot will go either to Andre Chase, who's on a roll right now after his win last week against Carmelo Hayes and Tricky. He got the roll up on Carmelo Hayes, which was quite shocking. Andre is rewarded with the win, but a chance to qualify for the North American title match against Von Wagner, who had a win the week prior, as well as I mentioned earlier, against Senga. So we have Andre Chase, Gary, representing Chase U. They're fired up. The student section is going to be out of control tonight against Von Wagner, who might be finding a little bit of a win streak here.
Yeah, could be. And if you'd asked me 6 months ago, I would have picked anybody over Andre Chase.
Yeah.
But I have majorly turned the corner. And every time he's on TV, I think he's great. The only thing could be if my man Crush reappears after not having been on TV for a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Charlie Dempsey sticks his hands or his feet or his head in and gets involved. But hopefully not. Hopefully not before Andre wins.
Yeah, Andre, is that who? That's, yeah, Andre beat, no, Brody. Did Brody beat on Charlie Dempsey, or was it Andre? Yeah, I can see John DeConnie. I can see, if this is a time for Charlie to bring Charlie Dempsey back. He took a L to Chase. He an unnecessary L, a carrying cross, losing to Jeff Hardy L.
Yes.
In his debut match in NXT against a member of Chase U.
Yeah. So this is a reason. Yeah, exactly. It sets up perfect for him to seek some revenge, and Von Wagner to continue to bore his way up the card.
John Smith.
Who the hell is Charlie Dempsey? I'm going to go with Von also. I agree with everything you guys said.
Okay. John DeConnie got a non-title contest over, I guess, the insults that Mandy Rose gave to a one Brooks Jensen.
Yes. So Fallon Henley had to stand in and step up, I should say, and defend her men, and they fought about it. It was non-title, as you said. Fallon got some decent offense in here. You know, she made a good showing for herself, but in this sub 6 minute match, it was a matter of time before she was kissed by the rose and takes the 1, 2, 3. However, afterwards, and actually, not only had she been trash talking Briggs and Jensen and Fallon Henley, she's also had some words, that is Mandy, for Alba Fire. So she had said some things about Alba before the match. So Alba interrupted her, and she had some more things to say after the match. Alba interrupted via the Tron to let her know that she's not so much about the talking. Camera pulls back. She's laid out a nice message for Mandy in front of her. She lights it on fire, and it reads #and_new. Message sent.
Okay. And then later on in the night, Nikita Lyons defeated Kaden Carter, keeping with tradition that tag team champions lose in singles matches after her spin kick / split down combination, which led to a backstage altercation. So you got Nikita Lyons, Zoe Stark, they're amped after Nikita's win. They want the tag titles. Toxic Attraction peers said that they want a title. And here comes Alba Fire, again, lighting another fire, which scares Toxic away. So we're going to have a 6-woman tag team match with Toxic Attraction on one side, along with against Zoe Stark, Nikita Lyons, and Alba Fire ripping off Randy Orton. She's been committing arson, and she's going to get a title shot in this one, John Smith.
Yeah, I think this is a time for Toxic Attraction to take a loss. You know, when there's no title on the line, maybe even Mandy takes the pin from Alba Fire.
All right, John Connie.
I hope Mandy doesn't take the pin here, because then that would tell me she probably won't lose to Alba. But then again, I guess they don't necessarily go by traditions in NXT anymore, so who knows? But yeah, this is a good spot for Toxic to take an L.
Gary Mehaffy.
Yeah, we'll make it 3 for 3. I would say Toxic Attraction to take the loss.
All right, John DeConnie, sit tight for a second. I'm going to throw a match on speaking of fire, I'm going to throw a match on fire real quick. So a couple years ago, we had Nice little feud between John Smith, Gary Mehaffy, two of their top guys. They went at it for the Cruiserweight Championship at NXT Stand and Deliver to find out who the true Cruiserweight Champion was. John Smith and Santos Escobar ended up winning that match. John DeConnie, these are just two of their favorites, not their two favorites. So, John, let's turn the dial up just a little bit here. At Extreme Rules in a strap match, John Smith, we're going to get you. Actually, you can respond to Gary if he says something out of line here. But, Gary, unfortunately, I know it's late with you. You're not going to be able to stay up late to go over your Extreme Rules picks. But let's get some stuff on the air here with John Smith while you guys are together. Karrion Kross, Drew McIntyre in a strap match. Gary, any thoughts?
This is where I feel like crying. For the first time in my life, I'm going to pick against Drew. Don't tell him in case he don't add me, he don't friend me. No, I just think that for his first big match in, that Karrion Kross needs the win. I don't think he should. I would like to see Drew win it, and hopefully he does. Hopefully, if I go against him, it has the opposite effect. Maybe that's what I should just do the whole way along. Just keep agreeing with John on everything, and then the opposite happens, and it's great. But I just have this feeling in my water that Karrion Kross needs the first big win, and he'll do it. Although hopefully Scarlett doesn't have the chance to throw any more fireballs. But
she's another little pyro. A lot of fire going on. All right, John Smith, anything is you want to carry a hug? I don't even know what you want to do here.
I mean, if you remember, what was it? It was 2 years ago, was that already?
Yeah, 2000 Stand and Deliver, I believe it was 2021. So it's a year.
Okay. But I actually picked Devlin to win that match because I thought that Santos was going to get moved up to the main roster back then. But that will not be the case this time. I am going with my guy here.
Yes.
The only time I ever want to see him lose in the near future is if it's a hair versus hair match because he needs to get rid of that mop on his head. He looks way less intimidating. I mean, he's still the same guy, but way less intimidating with that gelled hair. Obviously Scarlett gets involved and Drew will be protected by the finish of this, but I got Karrion definitely going over here.
I don't know. I got a cat roaming around down here. Make sure he's fed. There we go. Before he jumps on screen. I love it when Stormy jumps on screen. But Gary, anything else? I know there's a good old fashioned Donnybrook. My shillelagh's I'm moving right now, so my shillelagh's all packed up. But got a good old fashioned Donnybrook as well. Any thoughts on that one?
No, I mean I do. I think that the Brawling Brutes will go over on that. I do think that they're building up obviously to this big Sheamus Gunther match. When's is it next week?
Well, it's actually the day before. Yeah, so
it's the day before. Yeah, true. That's true. That's a point. I think that the Brawling Brutes will take that. There's got a lot of momentum going behind them in a minute, so I'm going to pick them. So
all right, and then Gary, Bound for Glory is this Friday night. Impact's biggest show of the year. Their version of WrestleMania, their version of Wrestle Kingdom, their version of Double or Nothing. Any wild predictions for Bound for Glory before we get you out of here?
I'm going for one, which I'll tell you in a second, but I'm going to stick with as far as for Jordan Grace. I can't pick against her. I never will. So I've got her to go over against Masha, but I'm going to go. I was like, why not go for something random? So for the gauntlet match, I'm going to have PCO to come in and take the win. We're going to go for PCO because he's just such a balloon head, for want of a better expression. But
that you just stole my pick, you bastard. Because you know what? If this whole thing with him and Eddie Edwards is leading to something, imagine PCO, whether Eddie wins or not. Just imagine PCO with that trophy. That'd be absolutely great. Make sure I know you're not going to be on the show, but make sure you join us. We're actually going to be doing a Bound for Glory special this Thursday, 5 p.m. On all of our streaming networks. We're going to be live. We're going to be airing visual on YouTube and on Facebook and all that fun stuff. And then if you want to hear just audio, can't spare to look at our ugly faces, we are on Odyssey and Spotify and all the other podcasts. So Gary, thank you so much for joining us this evening. As always, glad to see you're feeling better. Enjoy NXT tonight, and we will see you next week.
Yep, I shall see you then. Have a good one.
See you, Gary.
All right, we're going to stick with Impact as we're going on the road to Bound for Glory here. John the County, as I mentioned, Masha Slamovich looks ready to roll for Bound for Glory. How did Alley Catch with a K do?
She made a good showing. This was not your typical Masha minute 40 match. This one went almost 20 minutes. And it was Monsters Ball, so you had your trash cans, your steel chairs, your street signs. There was even a cowbell, although of course could have used a little more cowbell. At one point, Alley Catch hit Death Valley Driver to put Masha through a door and got a 2 count out of it. Masha at one point wrapped a chain not just around Allie's neck but around her mouth, her open mouth. That was a bit disturbing, but it would get better or worse, if you will. Masha made her bid to perhaps at some point in time join Decay when she was trying to bite Allie's face off at one point. There was, of course, the thumbtacks had to come out, and Allie managed a pile driver of Masha into the tacks for 2. But then there was, of course, a trash can that was filled with, and this is new for me. I mean, I've never been to any GCW shows or anything like that, so maybe this isn't overly surprising to those on the indie circuit, but it was filled with soda cans cut in half. And if you've ever messed with a soda can, that aluminum can get very sharp and very ouchy. Yeah. So that was added to the thumbtacks. And after Masha completely no-sold a shot to her head with the trash can, it was a snowplow into the tacks and the open soda cans. And Masha got the 1, 2, 3. And both women, when they stood up, had at least one soda can just like lodged in a. I think Masha had one in her quad. Allie had one, digging into her knee. It just did not look pleasant, but Masha Slamovich gets the win on her road to Bound for Glory.
Yeah, but a lot of internet praise. If you like hardcore matches, there was a lot of internet praise for that one. If you're saying the catch can guy, yeah, you're not going to like it. But if you're hardcore extreme, there you go. That works. The Bullet Club defeated Trey Miguel and Laredo Kid after the Art of Finesse, followed by the Fold for the win. Chuck went up for the Bullet Club. A little bit of Swingers Palace reunion here, John Nicani. There was Swingerellas. There was Bravo. Jessica and Taya roll by. Jessica likes Bravo's suit, but Taya tells Jessica to stay away from Bravo because, Taya shot him during a wedding. So.
They may have tried to kill me. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah. That's right. Rosemary, on the other hand, finds the Sinister Minister. Always glad to see him. Asking for some help to get Jessica back to being Havoc, which, of course, was overheard by Jessica and Taya. I think they just went about their business and training for their tag team championship match this Friday at Bound for Glory. John the Connie, Taurus is on fire. Yeah.
Yes, we had Black Taurus versus Delirious, who I guess decided to stick around. He may be around for the next 3 months because he stuck around for 3 days of tapings. We had a couple of spots here where Delirious hit Taurus with, a very nice, whether it was a running forearm shiver or, a spinning kick, and Taurus just stood like a statue. So Delirious did a lot of bouncing off of him. And in this relatively short match, it went just over 5 minutes. It was just a matter of time before we got to Destination Hellhole, and Black Taurus took the win.
Yeah, it was the only member of Decay in action, John Smith. Crazy Steve, Digital Media Championship title opportunity here.
Yeah, he made the most of it. It was a pretty good match, and he had the upper hand at towards the end where he had a tarantula-like submission move. I guess it's not a submission move since it's on the ropes, but on Myers. But then when he climbed the top rope, Myers made sure the referee was between the two of them. So Crazy Steve jumped back down off the ropes and moved the ref out of the way, which gave Myers the opportunity to put the thumb in the blind man's eyes.
Yeah.
Who then starts swinging at nothing until he gets clothesline from hell for 1, 2, 3, and then Myers gets on the mic afterwards, screaming for some blue check marks to come after him at Bound for Glory.
So yeah, Myers is going to do an open challenge, but I guess the stipulation is you have to have a blue check mark next to your Twitter name.
And he said come one, come all. So it might not be just one person.
Bobby Fish did an interview. He came out of Victory Road, so he's going to be here for a little bit. He's an Impact to pick a fight with legitimate wrestlers such as the champion. So the quickest way to do that is to enter and win the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. Bhupinder Gujjar also entered the gauntlet. He seems to be medically cleared at that point to do so. I guess he couldn't wrestle. He couldn't wrestle Myers again. He's not medically cleared. This past Thursday, he should be good by Friday now. Giselle Shaw was the first to declare for the gauntlet when she interrupted Mia Yim's interview, saying Mia doesn't stand a chance to get Mickie James. Mia disagrees, so they will fight about it on Thursday. John DeConnie, Giselle Shaw, Mia Yim. As Mia Yim's heading into a match at Bound for Glory. Not too many knockouts matches at Bound for Glory that are not for the title. This one just happens to be so.
Yeah. So, we always, we tend to say, well, this person's going in as a, not a number one contender. She's facing Nikki. But you'd think that they'd keep her strong. Not that Impact isn't above every once in a while throwing a wrench and that works. But I think that will be the case here. I think Mia will go over Giselle. And I don't know, maybe Giselle will attack her afterwards just to put an exclamation point on it. But Mia's, I'm sure, concentrating on Mickie James, her very first ever opponent in professional wrestling, and perhaps Mickey's last.
John Smith.
Wait, what was it again? Mickey and who?
It's Mia Yim versus Giselle Shaw.
I'll go with Mia.
Okay. Frankie Kazarian interview saying he's too good to be on the bench. Hey, jab at TK. That Mike Bailey is good, but Bailey is playing a game that Frankie created. We got Frankie Kazarian and Kenny King this Thursday, John Smith.
Kenny King and who? Frankie Kazarian?
Yep.
I'll go with Frankie just because he's got the momentum right now.
Yep. John DeConnie. Kenny King's probably really pissed right now that he's not in this X Division Championship match.
Yeah, that's why a little part of me almost thinks maybe Kenny will win and then force it to a triple threat at Bound for Glory, but there's been no hinting at that, so I'll just say Kazarian gets the job done here.
All right, staying with Honor No More. Honor No More's in-ring celebration of Eddie pinning Josh Alexander at Victory Road causes Josh to come out, but not before Eddie again laid into PCO for losing to the Motor Machine Guns at Victory Road. Followed by Rich Swann and Heath, and then eventually the Motor City Machine Guns to somewhat even up the numbers game. Eddie bails on the situation as a tag team match ensues that Rich Swann and Heath defeated Vincent and PCO. After a Phoenix Splash on Vincent, which I'm sure will somehow be PCO's fault. This Thursday, John DeConnie, we have a preview for Bound for Glory, the Tag Team Championship match. We have Matt Taven representing the Kingdom, the OGK, and Honor No More going up against one of their challengers, Alex Shelley.
I guess this seems like the easy story to tell is let Shelley take the victory here. So it feels like the Guns have all the momentum going into the tag team match at Bound for Glory. So give me Shelley.
All right, John Smith.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay. And then Moose finally admitted that he did have a deal in place with Steve Macklin. That if Macklin helps Moose take out Sami Callihan, in return, Moose will help Macklin win the gauntlet at Bound for Glory. The deal is off, obviously. Moose is now in the gauntlet also, looking for to win it for the second year in a row. He made some history last year in that little gauntlet match that he won. So Moose and Macklin started fighting backstage. Sami Callihan wants both of them one more time, but Sammy isn't medically cleared to do so due to a broken orbital bone. Seems to be his Achilles heel, huh? Oh, no, that was Eddie Edwards with the orbital bone. Never mind.
Oh, right.
He did that to Eddie. That's right. So Sammy will actually referee John Smith the match between Moose and Steve Macklin Thursday night on Impact.
And what's the match that there's going to be on at the pay-per-view? Nothing.
They're all in the gauntlet. They're all in the gauntlet for the gold.
All in the gauntlet.
Yep. I don't think Sammy's got a broken orbital bone.
I'm going no contest here. I got Sammy just beating them both up at some point.
John the Connie.
That makes sense. You know what? Give me Macklin winning again, because half of me says, it's going to be the 50-50 buyback. Macklin just won that barbed wire match, so give me Moose. But no, let Macklin win again, so then Moose will be extra motivated to make sure that maybe clothesline him out of the gauntlet and take himself out too, just to make sure Macklin doesn't win the gauntlet. So give me Macklin getting another one on Moose this Thursday.
All right, sounds good. And just another reminder, we're doing a Bound for Glory special this Thursday evening at 5 p.m. Make sure the same way you're watching this show now or listening to this show now, you will be able to watch and or listen to us the same exact way as we go over a little bit more in detail, like we do with the Survivor Series and SummerSlam, and that we're eventually going to be doing for Double or Nothing, because that show turned into an absolute amazing show, amazing tradition for AEW. But Bound for Glory, I believe this is like the 16th or 17th, 18th edition. Probably the 18th. If they're 20 years old, maybe the 19th. I don't know. But it's gonna be a fun show. We're looking forward to it as we make
we're doing that tomorrow.
We're taping it tomorrow, and then we're airing Thursday. Thanks for letting me get out of that.
Showing them how the sausage is made. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So let's put on the AEW graphic here. And John the Connie, we had a Champions Eliminator match with a new champion, John Moxley, against Juice Robinson, who apparently a little birdie told me on the internet. So let's just get SpongeBob rolling here. I mean, Juice Robinson is that birdie, so who knows if I'm sure he's right. That he's done with New Japan. He's done everything he needs to do over there. He was there for about 5, 6, 7 years ever since his release from NXT. So he's looking for booking stateside, and AEW came calling first. And if you're going to fight in AEW, you're going to fight the world champion. He just took this as the biggest match of his entire career. So,
hell yeah. It was in fact a world title eliminator. So if he gets the win, then he gets himself a title shot just walking into the company. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Well, it didn't happen. But he jumped Mox during the entrance. He hadn't quite yet made it through the fans. He jumped him at ringside. So he got a little bit of the upper hand there. They both roll in. We finally get the bell to start, because there was this all happened. The jump, of course, happened before the opening bell. But Juice continued with that roll. He had the upper hand. He hit the Pulp Friction for 2. He got him up for the rock slide, but when he flipped him down, Mox landed right on his feet and delivered the regal knee right across Juice's grill, transitioned into an armbar, and Juice tapped almost immediately. And we get the submission win for John Moxley. And then afterwards, Hangman Adam Page came to the ring to get face-to-face with Mox. And, we know Hangman won the whatever the hell it was.
It was a battle royal.
Yeah, he's got the shot at in Cincinnati. But remember, there's somebody walking around with a briefcase. Chip. And he was up in a luxury box, and he made sure he had a microphone with him to remind these two gentlemen that they're just fighting each other to figure out who loses to MJF. But MJF got surprised by Wheeler Yuta, who found his way into the luxury box and beat the holy hell out of MJF until security kind of pulled him off. So MJF escaped with his life and his poker chip, and I'm sure Wheeler Yuta is not done with him yet.
Now they're fighting Wednesday. We'll get to that towards the later part of this segment. Ricky Starks defeated Inaction with the Rochambeau. Wasn't on Rampage. It was on Dynamite. But with the Rochambeau on Dynamite. Good job, Ricky Starks. Lee Moriarty defeated Fuego del Sol after a Motor City stretch. That was nice. On Rampage, Ryan Nemeth, in-ring promo, took a couple jabs at ECW. Interrupted and beat up by ECW's proud FTW champion. After that, the Trustbusters came out, ripping off Masa Slamovich, and left what I can only assume is a brunch invitation for Hook. Trent Beretta not happy that Pac hit Orange Cassidy with a hammer. I guess I wouldn't be happy either. Someone did that to my friend. So apparently one of Sue's rules when Trent was growing up, you don't hit anybody with hammers. So they're going to get added for the All-Atlantic title, John DeConnie, on is that on Friday night also? Like, everything is Battle of the Belts 4 going to be on Friday night, or is that next Friday?
No. According to the way they broke it down last week, you're going to have your regularly scheduled Rampage, which is live this week, at 10 p.m. And then at 11 p.m., you're going to have Battle of the Belts also live, allegedly.
All while Bound for Glory is going on, all while SmackDown's going on before that. It's Friday. All right, let's just do it. John DeConnie. Battle of the Belts, I think with the exception of the first one, I don't think it has any title changes since the first episode. I don't even remember if that was true or not. I don't even know.
And I don't think it's going to get one here, not in terms of Pac and Trent Beretta, I don't believe. So give me Pac retaining.
John Smith.
Oh, yeah, Pac's definitely keeping his belt for now.
All right, Jade Cargill interview interrupted by Nyla Rose, who wants to crack at the champ. Jade accepts, but on her time, that match to be determined as far as time. So we go into Wednesday night. Is it been 3 years already? The third anniversary of Wednesday Night Dynamite, way back in the good old days when they were on TNT Network. Stemming off a lot of these matches, stemming off of stuff that happened last week on both Dynamite and Rampage. So we'll just go through the run up to the slate here. Saraya did an in-ring promo, said she's the revolution. She came out of the women's locker room for some praise, or maybe this time just me. But okay, so she called the women's. I wrote this wrong, so I have to explain it. She called the women's locker room out. It ended up being all the good guys, which is fine. Kind of pray all you're Tony Storm, the women's championship. If I'm Tony Storm, you're like, I have this belt. I know I'm great. Like, who the hell are you to be standing in my ring? Like, yeah, I didn't like the patronization right there for Saraya on Tony Storm. Tony Storm looked like a kid in training. Like, no, it's just Paige. Like, relax. Like, it's like she started. Yeah, she was the beginning of most of it, but no, if I'm Tony Storm, I'm pissed off. But she wasn't. That's just me. So then here comes Britt Baker out with her posse. Tony versus Serena Deeb, which was happening tonight, in which Saraya suggested to Tony Khan that it be a lumberjack match that Tony Storm won with an avalanche pile driver off the middle turnbuckle. Friday night on Rampage, Jamie Hayter defeated Willow Nightingale with a ripcord lariat. So we're going to bring everybody together this Wednesday night, John Smith, in a 6-women's trios match. On one side, you have Tony Storm with Athena and Willow Nightingale going up against Jamie Hayter, Serena Deeb, and Penelope Ford.
Sounds like a bleep show to me, and not in a good way. I'm just gonna go with the champs team winning this one, Tony's team.
Yeah, you got Tony Storm and Athena on one side, and Willow Nightingale just took a loss. I don't think she'll take 2 in a row, John McConney.
I don't know about that. Because I feel like what's next for Tony, and I think maybe next should be Jamie Hayter. So I could see Hayter maybe pinning Willow on this one. So give me the bad gals.
Well, if she could pin Tony as well, if that's where you're going with it, she could totally. Then that makes totally easily acceptable. Even after Saraya's page. I'm sorry, Saraya, right? Didn't she correct everybody? Saraya's praise of the champion. There's a backstage interview with the Acclaimed, who issued an open talent challenge for Rampage. It was Private Party and the Butcher and the Blade, but we'll get to that in a second. Also mentioned that this Wednesday night, again, it's apparently National Scissoring Day, And I can't believe it's that time of year already. John Smith, who will you be scissoring with on Wednesday in celebration?
Myself.
Nice. John DeConnie?
Likewise.
Keith Lee approached. They took a shot at Billy Gunn for entering in the match and then wished them luck. The Acclaimed, back to the Butcher and the Blade. They defeated Butcher and the Butcher and the Blade and Private Party on Rampage after the arrival, followed by the mic drop to retain the tag team titles. This week, then last week on Rampage, this whole Dynamite reign, I really got to break this up better. On Rampage, Swerve told some of his friends that he was just chilling, that he's going to get some revenge on Billy Gunn on Wednesday, but not on National Scissoring Day. Nothing's sacred anymore. Not on Rex Manning Day. Not on National Scissoring Day. Swerve, come on. So Swerve's going to be going after Billy Gunn, I do believe. And there we go. We're going to sort of go back to Private Party real quick. This is also how this is all transferring together. AFO did an interview. Andrade is not happy with Private Party. As Andrade with the Butcher and the Blade leave, Matt Hardy appears to let Private Party know that this is all his fault. He's sorry. If you can find a way to get out of their contract with Andrade, Matt will make things right with them. So we could have a reunion brewing with Matt Hardy and Private Party. I really enjoyed that Big Money Matt character. I thought that was really funny. Didn't he get like 33 or he didn't get like 50% of their contract? It was like he was killing them. That was actually really funny. All right, interview with Hangman Page and the Dark Order was interrupted by AFOs. This is all twirling together. It's kind of like Raw. Everything's all just twirling together here. Andrade wants a match for Preston Vance's mask. Vance agreed if Andrade puts his job on the line. So please, Hunter, send somebody over to make this thing happen and bring Andrade back. After Stokely and Ethan Page appeared to rat out Matt Hardy for tampering with Private Party. I'm not sure what business it was of theirs to do that, but they did. So we are actually going to have a match on, I believe this is Rampage. John DeConnie, correct me. Yeah, it's on Rampage. It's going to be Preston Vance's mask versus Andrade's job, I guess. If Andrade has to leave John Smith AEW if Andrade loses.
Yeah, I don't think our wish will come true on that one. I think we're going to see Preston Vance's face.
John DeConnie.
Yeah, exactly. Say again, sir?
You think it'll be a pretty face?
Yeah, I think I've seen a shot of him, and he's not a bad-looking fellow.
No,
and he's certainly not a luchador, so I don't think it means quite as much to him, so it'll be okay. I think we will all not get our wish to see Andrade leave, and Preston Vance will be unmasked.
Roosh defeated John Silver after getting the Bull's horn. There was a post-match bleep show that ended with Hangman Page clearing the ring. So this all turns into the mask for the job because Andrade and Preston Vance were obviously involved with that because this was an AFO versus Dark Order thing. But we also get Hangman Page versus Roosh, John DeConnie. I like this.
Yeah, that one should be a lot of fun. And since they don't do, BS endings, you've got to have Hangman stay strong before his title shot. So I think Roosh will get the short end of the stick here. But I think either way, this is going to be a quality match.
Yeah, I do believe that the Ring of Honor stat that they had during Death Before Dishonor, John Smith, I don't think Roosh was pinned once in the last 57 years or something like that. It's like Roosh does not get pinned often. So it is going to be interesting to see how this happens with Hangman Page.
Yeah, this is a tough one, man. It's Page versus Roosh.
Yeah.
1-on-1.
It's a third anniversary show. You got to go all in on this one. Well, all out or all out. Balls to the wall. Let's go. Horns to the wall. There you go. Balls to the horns.
No, I'm going to go with Page.
All right. Jay Lethal says Darby Allin won't make a name at his expense. Jay doesn't need Sanjay or Satnam Singh to accompany to his match with Darby Allin this Wednesday. John Smith, Darby Allin, Jay Lethal. I spy a Jersey guy.
Golden Boy always wins, so I'm going with Darby.
Jay Lethal another guy. You can't. He's like me picking football picks. You just can't buy a bucket. I'm going Jay Lethal. You got to get out of the gutter at some point. John Connie.
I think Darby finds a way to get it done, and then Jay Lethal is kicking himself for not bringing his buddies to ringside.
Yeah. Wheeler Yuta, as John Connie mentioned, we'll get to the part that he mentioned in a second, but he did an in-ring promo that pissed at MJF, put his hands on Tony Schiavone. Also, Wheeler Yuta's friends with Tony Schiavone all of a sudden. MJF walks out, talks some trash, prompting Yuta to make an approach towards MJF, but it was blocked by the Gun Club. MJF says they'll fight next week. And then, as John Connie mentioned, after the championship eliminator match, the stare down between Page and Moxley, Wheeler Yuta got to MJF up in the press box. So, in Washington, D.C., third anniversary show, MJF, John Smith versus Wheeler Yuta.
Give me MJF taking this one. He'll probably get some help from his cohorts. Maybe not, though, because he shouldn't need it. You know, he should be able to beat Wheeler Yuta straight up if he's going to be, you know, headlining the company as world champ soon. So we think.
Yeah. John Connie, a little off topic here. Just MJF and the anniversary show. Isn't the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal coming up at some point? Isn't that like this time of year?
Yeah, I believe you are correct, sir. So
I feel like it was the anniversary show because this is 3. There's been 2 Dynamite. Yeah, I thought this was okay.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, Max has already got 3 of them. So
2 is. I thought it was maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. I'm. This is how rumors get started.
Yeah, give me MJF getting it done against Wheeler Yuta, probably with the help of his what do they call it? His stable on retainer or whatever, the firm there.
Yeah, Jade Cargill's baddies. Chris Jericho celebration bitches. Interrupted by Bryan Danielson, who invited Daniel Garcia to join the Blackpool Combat Club. Jericho rejected the offer on Garcia's behalf because Garcia belongs to him. Danny G didn't like that, proposed a tag team match with himself tag teaming with Bryan Danielson against Les Sex Gods. But Maynard instead got in Danielson's face, so they went at it. Bryan Danielson defeated Matt Maynard. Everrise rules John Smith with the lapel lock. They're going to have the tag team match on Dynamite. And then Chris Bandito, Chris Bandito. Wow, how about that for a little slip of that match, right? Chris Jericho defeated Bandito with the Lion's Hammer to retain the Ring of Honor title. Post-match, Jericho announces that the Ring of Jericho era has begun. He's going to desecrate a Ring of Honor and all of his former champions. Bandito check. He's going to have Bryan Danielson apparently on October 12th. But that does not take away from the tag team match this Wednesday. Daniel Garcianson, Bryan Danielcia, whatever. This is confusing, as John DeConnie knows. Did you guys know this? That every time Jim Ross says Daniel Bryan on AEW television, Tony Khan smashes a bottle of barbecue sauce right in front of him. And JR just has to sit there and just take his punishment. Against Les Sex Gods.
Cruel, cruel world. All right, who'd you throw this one to?
You, John Connie. Why not?
Ah, very good, very good. I think Jericho just celebrated, I think it was yesterday, the day before was his 31st anniversary of his first match. So he's in a very celebratory mood. But I think Daniel Bryan Danielson.
What's his name again? Who did he fight? Who did he fight last year? The guy with the eye on his head.
The Serpentico's
I can't
tag team partner. Whatever the hell his name was. It was not a very celebratory match. But I think in this tag match, getting back to the subject here, I think Daniel Bryan Danielson and Daniel Bryan Garcia will get the job done.
John Smith.
Yeah, I'll go with Danielson and Garcia too.
Yeah, I think we'll go with them as well. I think
Luther.
Is it too early to pull the trigger that this is all BS?
Like to have Garcia turn on Danielson?
Yeah. Okay, so the story with Daniel Garcia is he got into a car accident as an independent wrestler, couldn't pay his medical bills. So out of left field, here comes Chris Jericho to pay them all, so that Daniel Garcia can concentrate on what's important to him, which was professional wrestling. There is a huge tie in real life, which is what AEW is supposed to be, with Daniel Garcia and Chris Jericho. I think Jericho, I think this whole thing is BS. I'm calling shenanigans, damn it. I don't know if it's too early to flip the swerve now, or maybe they're going to do it at All Out, or because that's right around the corner. Actually, no, it's like a month, about a month and a half from now.
Yeah, he can do it.
Third anniversary show. It is kind of a big show. Yeah, I do it. I think Bryan Danielson's going to get his ass kicked. I'm going to call it.
If you're gonna pull that trigger, I think you do it in Toronto on October 12th during the Ring of Honor World Championship match between Jericho and.
There you go. Okay, I like that. There you go. Okay, so yeah, we'll go Danielson and Garcia tonight then. All right, well, it's teamwork, Jonathan Connie. It makes the dream work. Good work. All right, so we're gonna turn to layeth the smacketh down on your Rudy Poo, Candy Asses, and Max Dupree. Max Dupree last Friday. Max Dupree, sorry. He's still upset with the Maximum Male Models and Maxine. So he wanted to make. Maximum Male Models wanted to make it up to Max by holding the longest pose in Canadian history, which I do believe is only 5 seconds, held of course by Edge and Christian. So for the benefit of those with flash photography, interrupted by Hit Row. Man, things just don't seem to be going Maximum Male Models' way ever since they got together. And by the way, for those of you who do not know what flash photography is, and I couldn't believe I'm typing that, and I'm like, man, they didn't have cell phones back then when Edge and Christian was doing this crap, and people actually probably needed flash photography. Little bulbs that were in cameras. Cameras is not a word on your phone you use to take pictures. There was an actual physical thing called a camera. A little bulb in the corner that, it was a flash of light, so in dark places, it would bright up so the film on the film is now. I'm a whole different story. The film on the inside that produces the pictures.
Al, we only have 2 hours now.
Right? Yeah, gotcha. Goddamn millennials. Interrupted by Hit Row. Hit Row had a match, John Smith. They went at it with Los Lotharios.
Yeah, this one didn't last too long. It was basically what Hit Row does to inaction, but the Lotharios got a few moves in first. Ashanti started the match, got beat up for a while before he made the hot tag to Top Dollar, who then just beat the crap out of both Lotharios. He did his signature world's strongest slam with the guy on his shoulders and a fireman's carry too, and then tags Adonis back in for the worst tag team finisher in the business, besides maybe the Magic Killer and the 1, 2, 3.
Oh, Vex's was pretty bad if I remember correctly. Vex's up there.
Who?
Vex, Dana Perrazzo, and Chelsea Green.
They've been working on it though.
Man, that's not even like that's not even in contention. That's like already at the top of the mountain, and everybody's just climbing up trying to be that bad.
So Hit Row, go back to Maximum Male Models, because I mentioned I wanted to get the Hit Row match out because they were the one that interrupted the first time. They tried again with the pose, but then Match punched Mansoor right before they were about to break the record, so I guess that's second 4. Kicks off the Maximum Male Model belt that he sports and says that he's done. John Smith, you want to do? You're smiling. Did we get this back?
He did the LA Night, yeah. And it's inevitable, I think that, and you know what? Maybe he shows back up in NXT first. Who knows? I don't know. But since they've been teasing it so much on SmackDown, I think he will come out on SmackDown. But I always thought that he had unfinished business in NXT, and he should have held that world title at some point before he made the move to the main roster.
And I think with NXT right now, it's just filling up with UK guys. I don't know if there's going to be room for LA Knight. These former football players on one side and then the NXT UK roster on the other side. It's like, Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa, they defeated Ricochet and Madcap Moss after Solo hit the spinning solo on Madcap. Backstage, Jay still has trust issues with Sammy. Jay sees right through him. Interesting. I think Jay Uso's been watching the Essential Wrestling podcast. I think he was listening to our conspiracy theories last week. Anyway, this Friday, upcoming on the season premiere of SmackDown, we got Ricochet and Solo Sikoa, John McConney.
Ooh, yeah, I think it's going to be a big celebration week for the Bloodline. I don't see them taking a loss here. Give me Sikoa going over.
All right, John Smith.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a while before we see Solo Sikoa lose a match.
Okay. Roman Reigns will have a face-to-face with Logan Paul on Friday, setting up their match with Crown Jewel. Will Logan Paul acknowledge our tribal chief? No. But we're going to stay with the Bloodline as we go over to Monday Night Raw. And John Smith, I think you hit the nail right in the head. Yeah, the Bloodline, they were backstage. Jay says Roman will be at Raw next week. Look at Roman Reigns as the Raw World Champion showing up on Raw for work. Good for him. I know he's only usually just showing up on SmackDown. Good for Roman. He's the champion of 2 shows. He kind of needs to be there. They were interrupted by the Street Profits. Angelo Dawkins ran his mouth and wants Solo Sikoa later in the night. So do it again, John Smith.
Careful what you wish for. I mean, Dawkins, I like seeing him in singles competition because he's been shining while Ford is hurt. And we've been saying for a few months now that he's really stepped up his game, and this was a really good match. It's just Solo Sikoa was a little too much, and then with the Bloodline getting involved on the outside, it was only a matter of time before the spinning solo happened and Dawkins ended up with his counting the lights.
All right. The Miz is still getting stalked by Dexter Lumis, got silenced, and then received an early birthday gift ahead of the celebration next week at the Barclays Center because it was a portrait of himself and Dexter, John McConney.
Yeah, it was basically Miz ready to blow out his candles and Dexter just kind of right over his shoulder.
Yep. Happy birthday to the Miz next week. Why don't we wish the Miz happy birthday going into Monday at the Barclays Center too? Maybe we should go out there. I want to be out there Monday. I might go out there Monday.
I'm off on Monday. Let's go.
It's the Miz's birthday. Yeah, we should go. Should be there.
You know what's also Rusev Day that day?
I have plans then. John McConney, Alpha Academy all over the place.
Yes, they sure are. So Chad opened, got caught kind of talking out of school last week, so we know he's got a match coming up with Strowman. But first things first, 4-Point Otis was taking on Johnny Wrestling, and they went at it for just short of 6 minutes. They wound up out on the floor, and while they were out there, Gargano had the upper hand, and just for giggles, Austin Theory, who was on commentary, Gargano decided to just blast him, knock him out of his chair. But then as Johnny went to get back in the ring, Austin kind of regathered himself and smashed Johnny Gargano right across the back with that Money in the Bank briefcase. So Johnny kind of stumbled into the ring, scooped right up by Otis into a World's Strongest Slam for the 1-2-3. So that match was over. Austin Theory right into the ring. Gable's celebrating with Otis, and at their feet is Gargano. Austin kind of jumps into the full mount position, starts raining down punches, and then roar. Braun Strowman comes out, clears the ring. They're all kind of fighting on the floor. He grabs Chad Gable and just ragdolls him back into the ring so they can start their match. They went for another 7 minutes, and of course, Chad Gable had no right hanging with Braun Strowman, but Chad Gable is Olympic level. Chad Gable put on a very good showing. He even pulled off a very impressive German suplex at one point, but in the end, big man smash, power bomb, 1-2-3. Strowman gets the victory.
And so, stepping back to the Otis and Gargano match, I know it led into Strowman and Gable, but it's also going to lead into next Monday night at the Barclays Center, which is not only my house. Yes, I still work there. Not only my house, it's also Johnny Wrestling's house. And we're finally at the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. Season 28. I don't know. We're coming up on 30. No, 29, right? It's coming up
Oh,
on 30.
Raw. Yeah.
We're coming up on 30 because it started in 93. So next year's, we're coming up on 30.
January 11th, 1993. Yes, sir.
Cripes. Johnny Gargano, Austin Theory. Like I said, this I got a funny. Here we go again. It's an old formula. Austin get the win here. Just get the old formula going. Bad guy wins the first one. John Smith.
Austin versus Gargano, right? Theory versus Gargano.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Theory taking this one. Yeah, but this feud's gonna last a while. It might even end up with Johnny taking the briefcase from him.
That would be fun. John Connie.
Well, like you said, it is Johnny Wrestling's house, and I'm gonna go with the whole I hold the briefcase, therefore I don't need any wins theory, and say Gargano gets it done here. Okay.
He's right though. Johnny Gargano. He's a couple great takeover matches at that arena. He's done for me. D-Generation X comes back for the 25th anniversary of D-Generation X.
Just a bunch of degenerates.
Wow. I don't think Billy will be there, correct? Which means I don't think the Acclaimed will be there. I think the Acclaimed are honorary members of D-Generation X. Like, do you think that would have been TK would have been like, yeah, you guys can go over. And it's DX with the Acclaimed. And Michaels is like, who the hell? Kicks them all.
Wasn't that the offer that was kind of made by, the internet world at large? We'll give you John Cena to make one entrance with the Acclaimed. You give us Billy Gunn to come over for the DX reunion.
No, I thought it was William Regal announcing War Games.
Yeah, it was Regal announcing War Games. That's a tall order. That's putting Cena on A. You need a lot on that. Like I'm gonna need Miro back. I'm gonna need Aleister Black back. I'm gonna need the whole Undisputed Era back. Like for one Cena appearance to wrap with the Acclaim. Like that's it. Bobby Lashley backstage wants an opponent for the United States title that is passionate as he is, which Mustafa Ali says he is. So Lashley accepted. Lashley defeated Mustafa Ali to retain the U.S. title after a spear followed by the Hurt Lock. Post-match attack on Lashley by Seth Rollins, hitting 2 stomps, one of them on the U.S. title. Then he just stomped Ali just for fun because Seth Rollins is a jerk. Later in the trainer's room, Lashley, all pissed off, wants Seth Rollins next Monday night after Extreme Rules. So after Rollins gets into the fight pit, and we'll get into that right after this. It'll be a nice, smooth segue. It's going to be Seth Rollins, John Connie, challenging for the United States title at a very pissed off Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, and oh man, I don't know where they're going with this. It's WWE, so you can have a false finish. So maybe Rollins wins by DQ because something that happens in the fight pit causes Riddle to come out and get involved. Give me Rollins. There's no points on the line. What the hell?
Yeah, I'm thinking season premiere. They're at the Barclays Center. It's in New York City. They can do something big, John Smith. And then, the funny thing is, if Riddle wins the fight pit, then we're just going to circle right back to no, now I want the United States title. So now Riddle wants his belt back. So, like, there's stuff you can do here.
Yeah, maybe we get a Brock Lesnar appearance. Maybe Brock Lesnar comes back to have a proper feud with Bobby Lashley. It costs him his title. I don't know. That's the only reason. The only way I could see Bobby losing is if somebody interferes on Seth's behalf, or Seth cheats in some way. But I got Seth winning the title though. Yeah, because we're not doing the Survivor Series thing anymore, like the champ versus champ thing, which I thought we were going to get Gunther versus.
Missed opportunity on that one.
I know that's like that would have stolen the show, but I think Bobby shouldn't be in the U.S. title picture anyway. I think he's better than that. So give it to mid-card Seth.
All right, so we're going to smooth transition, like I said, right into Extreme Rules.
So smooth.
Yeah, this was it. It's going to go lead off right with the fight pit. So, but here are the overall standings going into Extreme Rules. Brian Roy with about a 40 points. My math right? Never do math in public, right?
35.
35? Yeah, 35.
35.
Then John Licani is about 20 over Beavis. I'm trailing Beavis by 4. John Smith, Gary Mehaffy down there towards the bottom. Here are our WWE only standings. Brian Roy's leading that as well by 3 points over John Licani. John Smith, myself, this was a little bit closer than the overall standings. Standard scoring for Extreme Rules, 5 points for the Universal title match, which there is not any. I have not been doing the Brock Lesnar rule. I guess maybe I should go back and just repoint all the main event matches. Anyway, but 3 points for all their titles, 1 point for the non-title match. Kickoff matches do not count. Perfect pay-per-view. Bonus is still 5 points. If you have balls, I would love to hear your predictions on how Austin Theory would cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase on Roman Reigns when Roman's isn't even going to be there. So comment in the section below. I want to hear that, all that stuff. So there you go. I went Extreme Rule. I got purple nameplates with the green graphic. It's a horror show, John Nicani. Somebody's losing an eye tomorrow on Saturday night. Like I said, we're going to stick with the fight pit. Riddle and Rollins blew each other's personal lives up on the mic. Rollins bringing up Riddle's paternity situation. Riddle bringing up Rollins' lack of championship success over the past 3 years. Easter egg, while his wife has been killing it. Special guest referee, former UFC heavyweight champion and future UFC Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier. He will be refereeing the match. He came on the Titantron and told him to shut up. So, 2 things here. We'll go to the dumb one first. You mentioned Brock Lesnar. Does Brock Lesnar attack Daniel Cormier, John Nicani?
At the end of my notes, I used to keep like little blurbs and little like rumors and stuff. I have a blurb from it's got to be 2 years ago at this point that Daniel Cormier was ready to, come over to the WWE because he's been a fan, like Ronda, he's been a fan since childhood, and it was his time. And the minute I heard him assigned to this, I was like, crap, what's going to happen that's going to bring him in and he's going to have a match by, Survivor Series. So if it's Brock, well, that's some interesting business.
All right, so same with, like I said, Easter egg is like Riddle took a shot at him for not having championship gold, John Smith, and Rollins can rectify that 2 days after the fight pit. And like I said, you just can continue this right there. So who wins the fight pit?
I'm going with Riddle just because it's supposedly his world, his realm. It's his, specialty or whatever, even though he lost to Toothless Timmy in NXT. But, I'm going with Riddle. Then he can, like you said, circle back and challenge Seth for that U.S. title that he's about to win on Monday.
John Nicani.
This is where I'm torn. Do they make this Riddle's match, even though, we're not talking about the fact that he didn't win the first one he was in. So do they make this Riddle's match, or do they, is Timothy Thatcher still working at the Performance Center? Could he come up and, do something shady and cost Riddle this match just for a giggle? I don't know how, but somehow I've got Rollins coming out of this with a victory.
I got Riddle. I'm going to agree with John Smith. I got Riddle as well. Irrelevant with the U.S. title. I kind of was just throwing that out as I was reading with the Raw and whatnot. But they, I just don't think Cormier. I think this is going to be straight up because of Cormier. I don't think it's going to be cheating and be whatever. I don't think Rollins can do it. Unless he Fuji's him with salt in the eyes. But then I just think Cormier is, and maybe do Rollins and Cormier at some point forward. Because Rollins is going to be pissed off that, Cormier called it down the line and didn't let Rollins cheat. He doesn't, who the hell does he think he is? This is Monday Night Rollins, I'll give Riddle the win on this one as a buyback, because Rollins, I do believe, won at the last pay-per-view as well, right? Over in Saudi Arabia. Imperium was in the ring on SmackDown, interrupted by Sheamus wielding a shillelagh. Kaiser fights. He fights off. I'm sorry, Jesus. Sheamus fights off Kaiser and Vinci. Gunther landed a powerbomb, though. We have the Intercontinental Championship match between Gunther and Sheamus on Friday on the season premiere of SmackDown. So not only is the U.S. title after Extreme Rules, you got the Intercontinental Championship, because God forbid you defend that thing on a pay-per-view, even though they just did a Clash at the Castle. That was the last pay-per-view, not Saudi Arabia. Sorry, it was Wales. Saudi Arabia is next month. So who do you have in the Intercontinental Championship match, John DeConnie? And then who do you have for points on the line at Extreme Rules in a good old-fashioned Gary Donnybrook?
Yes, indeed. Give me Gunther retaining on SmackDown, and then that's a good enough reason to give the Brutes, they can pin either Vinci or Kaiser to take the 6-man at Extreme Rules.
All right. John Smith?
Yeah, I got Gunther retaining, definitely. That's gonna that's gonna be match of the show on SmackDown season premiere, and yeah, a little bit of revenge for Fight Night, which is, I'll always call them that, Fight Night at the pay-per-view. I'll always call it a pay-per-view too. I only started calling it WWE like 4 years ago. I always called it WWF.
Totally agree.
Finally got the F out, huh? Yeah, I got the same thing. I got Gunther retaining. You should just never take that belt off him. I can't think of any good explanation or reasoning or whatever.
I'm down with a 12-year title reign.
Yeah, unless he's just trying. He beats Roman Reigns. 5 years from now or whatever. They're both like, okay, you guys have each been wrestling for 5,000-day champions, or title for title or whatever. But yeah, and then give me the Brawling Brutes as the buyback. Fight night. The Judgment Day did an in-ring promo. The Judgment Day was all over the place too last time on Raw. Finn saying he's done. He's going to be Edge's Judgment at Extreme Rules. Dominic says he hates his father and he has a new family now with the Judgment Day. Finn gets the microphone back saying that AJ still has an open invite to join because, we're life. AJ and Ray interrupt and a match ensues. The Judgment Day defeated AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio after Ray got distracted and taken out by Dom and Rhea, followed by AJ receiving a coup de grace by Finn. Post-match, AJ was not happy that Ray didn't have his head in the game, so Ray walked away upset. So Priest just attacked AJ again, hit the south of heaven. Edge did a video promo saying that here we go, there's nothing Balor can physically do to Edge to make him say that he quits. That's the key. Edge is correct. And the way that you have to do this is you got to get after Edge's family. Now, Beth is nowhere to be found. Ruby and Lyric, they're at home training for WrestleMania 64. They have a big tag team championship match, I believe, that night against, I forget who they're fighting. Damn.
Triple H's kids, right?
No, they're fighting each other. I think.
Oh, okay.
Vaughn wants the company told to herself.
We have to dig that back up. I haven't seen that in way too long.
It's actually, you know what? We're at an hour 18. I can look. Actually, it's on the other computer. That's not on my other. Damn it. Anyway, but Edge's family is involved. Like, do you corner Ray where Edge has to say he gives up? Do you? Like, I'm taking Edge. If Beth isn't involved in this, I don't think Edge is going to quit, John Smith, unless it's like a pass out situation, which is.
What about if Finn comes out by himself and the rest of Judgment Day is nowhere to be found, and then there's a live feed from Edge's home? And
yeah. And I guess they could go up to Toronto. I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that could be a way that they do it. I don't think Edge should win this match. I mean, no, I got to go with Finn Balor here.
Yeah, especially the articles get, WWE has huge plans for Finn Balor. Like, of course they do. Triple H is back in charge. Like, come on. It's his boy. So, and then you got the John DeConnie. We were talking about, is this an Easter egg? There's a lantern. There's fireflies maybe in that dumpster.
Yeah.
Does Bray Wyatt do something? There was another. We haven't really discussed the QR codes. You know, they keep on forgetting to write them down. That's one thing, because somebody's not putting their notes on minutes2belltime.com. But
Because the first one I was all excited about, and then they put a date on it, and I was like, okay, Friday we're gonna get the payoff. We didn't get the payoff Friday. I just went, the hell with this. I'm done with it.
Yeah. So again, another one I guess that came out in Predator language, or somebody was translating again. The next show, which is Extreme Rules, which Bray Wyatt has history, I believe. The Bleep show at Extreme Rules wasn't just an eye for an eye. It was also a huge controversy for the Raw Women's title that ended in a no contest, but Sasha Banks somehow won the title. I forget that whole situation. But then there was the Wyatt Swamp match with Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman during COVID. So, Bray has, he was a part of the horror show. That was for the Universal title, apparently, and that ended in a no contest. Actually, that wasn't even a match. That was just it was no title.
It was just drown somebody in a lake. I don't know.
Yeah, right. So, is this where is Bray secretly leading the Judgment Day? I don't know.
Yeah, that would be a hell of a way to bring him back, an interesting way. But I think what your very first point was the most salient point. Edge said, "There's no way you can physically make me say I quit."
Yes.
And I think the Joker in this situation is Rhea. You now have a woman who can go assault Beth, or choke her out, hold her at, not at gunpoint literally, but in some way threaten her physically on the Tron, and that causes Edge to say I quit. So give me five.
Right. And that would set up Beth and Rhea, which is, I think, something we've been hoping for a while since this whole thing started. But if I'm Edge and I'm married to Beth Phoenix and I see Rhea Ripley attacking Beth, Beth can take her, and then just go back. It's going to be something drastic, It's got to be the kids then. If Beth is laying unconscious and Rhea has the kids with an "I'm Your Poppy" shirt on, which she's been sporting a lot lately.
Beth might be tied up too, Yeah. They might have her tied up in the driveway, and then she's revving an engine. She's about to run her over with a car or something.
Okay, there you go. That works. There's ways. Do they go that far for this? I don't think yet. I think these are great ideas. I think Hunter, I know Triple H, a fan of the show, is watching right now, taking notes. That's a hell of an idea. It's a hell of an idea. But I'm gonna go straight up. It's just Edge. It's gonna be payback, right? Didn't he just get a concerto to his leg? I forget what happened to his leg. Anyway, for the Raw Women's Championship, let's go to the Raw Women's title here. Bayley, she defeated Shotzi on SmackDown after a rose plant. She tried to post a match attack. It was thwarted by Bianca. Then last night on Raw, Dakota Kai defeated Candice LeRae with a Raw roll-up. Check one for Dakota and Raw. The contract signing with Bianca and Bayley turned into a backstage brawl with Damage Control jumping Asuka and Alexa, which allowed Bayley to attack Bianca in the ring. Asuka is potentially hurt. Alexa is officially pissed. She wants Io Sky. Then Io Sky with the win over Alexa Bliss with over the moonsault. Post-match attack by Damage Control, ending with Bayley on the ladder with the title. 3 wins by each member of Damage Control over the past 2 shows. Bayley over, that's the reason why I went through all that. Bayley over Shotzi, Io over Alexa Bliss, and Dakota over Candice LeRae. First of all, shame on Candice LeRae. She just pulled an Humberto Carrillo. She knew that they were outnumbered and Asuka was hurt. And Candice, she wants to jump into the Raw titles picture. She should have been out there at the end, and she didn't. She only got rolled up. She was fine. But thing is, John DeConnie, like I said, if this was the old regime, if this was the old writing crew, Bayley on top of the ladder with the Raw Women's title, that's a Bianca Belair win. You don't even have to watch the match. New writing team, new regime. Doesn't necessarily, it's not Impact. Impact is still a crapshoot, whatever, that writing team. But this still, I don't think it guarantees it as much as it used to.
No, I had Bayley all the way here, and that last night gave me. I was like, "Oh, come on, what are you doing?" But I still think Bayley can come out of this because you just brought her back. She's pretty much gold on the mic. She's got the crew. They've got the belts. It just makes sense. And quite frankly, I'm so tired of Bianca. Which I laughed so hard at their sit down last night because Bianca attacked Bayley with Bayley said, "Oh, I was you," and everyone wore their ponytails on the side, and they all cheered for me, and then they stopped cheering for me, and my career fell apart. And Bianca came back at her with, "The reason they turned on you was because you were just playing a character. That's not who you really are. I am what you see is what you get." But that's the part that I can't stand about Bianca. She is so naturally a heel that I can't stomach her as a babyface. So I want it to be done. So I'm going to try and will it into being so. Give me Bayley taking the Raw Women's title.
And I think that's the problem with this, John Smith, is I don't think it's done after this because the problem with the ladder match is nobody gets pinned, nobody gives up, nobody submits. Damage Control could just easily just come out and just like, okay, Bianca, and just hold her back while Bayley climbs the ladder. Maybe they'll ban Damage Control from ringside, or maybe Asuka, Alexa, maybe Candice wants to join in and take them out. So it is a true one-on-one. But like the thing is, ladder matches, and you want to protect both of them. You don't want either of them getting pinned. I just have a bad feeling that if Bayley wins this, Bianca's winning the Royal Rumble, and I don't want that again. So, John Smith, who do you got in this one? I got Bianca just because of that, but
you got Bianca. Wow.
Yeah, I'm taking Bianca Belair on this. I don't think it's over. I just think it's going to piss off Bayley. I'm still in control. I'm supposed to be in control. I think she's going to snap a little bit, and then
Now I got Bayley winning because that just looked right with the three of them holding those at the end of the show. And on top of that, like you said, nobody's getting pinned here, so everybody's protected no matter what. And then where's Becky been? Could she come back and cost Bianca? Where's Charlotte?
Charlotte, we don't know.
Where's Charlotte? She could come back and cost Bianca, and then.
What's your thought on Charlotte, though?
Huh?
Yeah, smack that women's title match. We still got to talk about.
I agree, but they got their own thing going on. I guess how does Ronda lose? Liv's probably coming out with that title, and how does Ronda lose? Somebody's got to do that to her. But I'm still going. I'm going with Bayley, but maybe it's not because of Charlotte. But
it could be whatever. How about this for a thought? Bayley could just straight up win. Bayley's owned. It's the other way around. Because these two feuded like a year and a half ago before Bayley got hurt. Right? I can't remember who really won those matches, but this has been going on. This is long-term storytelling.
No, I don't think they ever really feuded, man.
Oh, I think I'm almost positive they did.
Because Bianca's only been going for since last Royal Rumble, a year and a half ago, is when she won the Royal Rumble. Then she won the title at WrestleMania, right? And then she lost it to Becky at SummerSlam, and then she got it back the next year at WrestleMania.
It was before that, and it was before she lost it to Becky. I think she had a feud with Bayley, maybe because it was a SmackDown Women's title.
So no, because Bayley was out for a long time, dude. She was. Long time. I think she's been out. She even said in one of her promos, the only reason that you've been on top is because I've been gone the whole time.
Yeah. I think these are your two team captains for the women's War Games match.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole crew. I think that
writes itself.
Yeah, but they just need a fourth person. And god damn it, if they don't bring Tegan Knox back for this. Anyway. As we talked about with Gary earlier, there's going to be a strap match at the Bleep Show at Extreme Rules. Here we go. Drew McIntyre defeated Austin Theory on SmackDown via disqualification after interference by Alpha Academy, who's just absolutely all over the place. It turned into a 6-man tag team match in the main event. Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Johnny Gargano defeated Austin Theory and Alpha Academy after a Claymore on Theory. Post-match whip by the strap by McIntyre on Theory. Karrion Kross did a video promo. He intends to use Drew McIntyre on his stepping stone on his way to the WWE Universal Championship. John Smith. I know. Let's just rehash your pick here. I know Gary's committing the cardinal sin here.
Yeah, this is straight up carrying cross. I don't think there's going to be any interference. I think he's going to show like how dominant he can be in this match, and yeah, there will be a little bit of interference from Scarlett or an attempt at a fireball or something like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't think it misses its mark and hits carrying cross or anything like that, and then Drew wins. No,
John LeConte.
Yeah, I got cross in this one too. It's almost a shame considering I had McIntyre being the Universal Champ by now. The thing about him losing 2 premium live events in a row is kind of crazy, but I think Cross's character needs this. It should be the story that they're telling.
Exactly. Especially after the whole Jeff Hardy thing, and that if he loses at his first premium pay-per-view ever. It's going to start going back. It is going to be just gladiator carrying cross everywhere Sunday, Saturday night if he loses that match. And this isn't just me being biased here. If you go to WWE.com, this is what they have as their main event, their top story. It's Ronda Rousey's picture everywhere. This is the match that they're talking about on the website, so I'm just going off them. Ronda Rousey on SmackDown thinks she's going to bring. Sorry. Hold on one second. Ronda Rousey thinking she's going to be thinking she's being a bully by bringing up the fact that Liv worked at a Hooters here in New Jersey before she became a professional wrestler. Now, I think that is absolutely the worst thing you could possibly do. So what if some people before they become wrestling, or even while they're wrestling, they try to do stuff that maybe not be accepted by normal society? People shouldn't just be hounding on that. But
Yeah.
If I had a time machine, I'd go back and tell myself to go to Hooters, wherever the hell she is.
So I guess our apologies to Saraya. We're sorry if I keep bringing this up. We're just...
No, we're not.
I think it's... Nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing to be ashamed of. There's anything wrong with that, right? Isn't that the famous quote? Nothing there's anything wrong with that. So Liv, yeah, Jersey girl. She worked at Hooters, North Jersey. Who didn't? Anyway, Ronda Rousey for the 50th time defeated Natalya with an ankle lock. Post-match, Liv down with a baseball bat, so they went at it. And like I said, WWE.com, they're highlighting this match above everything else. I would have maybe put Drew and Karrion Kross, but then John Smith kind of maybe hit the nail on the head. I'll go first. This has to be a Liv heel turn, and I don't know if Charlotte's involved in that. You got to turn her now because it's getting bad. Ronda's getting cheered, everyone's like whatever, and Liv's just getting left in the dust here. So it's got to be a cheat to win, a BS way to win. Turn Liv heel. That's 3 wins. That'll be 3 wins over Ronda Rousey, and Liv can forever be Liv's kryptonite. John Connie. I'm sorry,
yeah.
Liv could ever be Ronda's kryptonite. Yeah, that's it.
Right. Yeah, and Liv, maybe she gets some help. Maybe Shayna didn't like the way Ronda referred to her as used to be a monster, blah, blah, blah. And, maybe she shuts her old friend up here. I would rather see the two of them team up before going after each other. But again, for the life of me, I can't figure out how Liv comes out of this, but I think she kind of has to. So give me Liv. I don't have exactly the idea in my head about how she gets it done.
It's got to be, let's say it's an Extreme Rules match. So just everything, it's going to be a bleep show. It's officially, and again, the bleep show at Extreme Rules, John Smith. Both Liv Morgan wins over Ronda Rousey were via the Raw roll-up.
Yeah. See, I like Liv to win. I just don't see a heel turn happening because like the crowd still, generally speaking, loves her. People will probably be booing the crap out of her in Philly, but if she heel turns, then she'll get cheered. So that probably won't be the response they're looking for anyway. So I like the idea of Shayna coming out or Charlotte. No matter what, I got Liv winning. Maybe she even just drops a bunch of boulders on her or something.
There you go. That works. All right, so that will do it for today's episode. Wow, minute 35. I've been enjoying these 90-minute shows. I think everybody at home is enjoying this too. There we go.
Oh, Billy.
I already hit that in my head. I already hit the music. There we go. There we go. Here are roll-ups. What the hell happened this week? Unbelievable. One goddamn roll-up. You can't say goddamn in the real. No one's listening. That was it. Dakota Kai on Candice LeRae, and that brings Raw within 4. Now they're only trailing AEW by 4. So same as last week. Xavier Woods leading the win column. The Miz and Tamina each tied with 4 in the loss column. So they got to pick it up. That's. I mean, what do we? Actually, I should say that because we had like 7 or 8 the week before.
Yeah.
It's this one. The average is good. The 3.5 week, 4 week. So, a huge congratulations to because this Friday, for the 100th time, the Prime Time Rundown is back. Look at all of the handsome that is in that graphic. That is Joe Jarzenka, Joseph Kennedy Jarzenka, and Mike Savo right there too. Ian Schreier usually joins them as well every Friday night at 7 p.m. Everything you need to know about the world of sports. And this week, there are highlights of 100 episodes. They're going to preview Week 5 of the NFL. Hockey season is around the corner. Actually, it's here. It starts. Actually, this is the last week of preseason. It starts next week. Baseball postseason is starting this week. John DeConnie, I know you just turned your screen off, but real quick, pal, I got something for you.
Go ahead.
I can't show it. John DeConnie picked the Green Bay Packers.
And they made me sweat.
Yeah. JoJo Zanka with the win as well. He got the win in the Chargers. John Smith didn't get his pick at the time. Myself and Nick went with the Detroit Lions. Man, 90-something points, huh? The Lions and the Seahawks. That was absolutely nuts. We had 2 wins this week. Primetime Rundown had 3. I believe 2 of those were also the Green Bay Packers over the Patriots. So they had a 2 game win over us in the win column. But I'm gonna turn heel here for a second, just because I'm so upset that John DeConnie picked against the Patriots last week. I'm at that point where teams are picking against the Patriots in their survivor pools, and it's really upsetting. So just to screw with John DeConnie and kill his undefeated streak going, I'm going to bet on whoever John DeConnie bets on. God knows I'm not winning. I can't figure this league out. So I'm going to hold off on my pick. Maybe I can find out who John DeConnie picks, just so he's not undefeated.
I haven't even looked at the week yet, so I'll let you know later.
Okay.
I picked the Cardinals. I got my pick in at like 11:30 on Sunday, and he didn't even accept it. That's BS. I call shenanigans.
10 o'clock, I thought.
Well, I work 38 hours on the weekends, all right?
Cardin. You have his number, right? 9 letters? That's all you take? 9 letters, Cardinals.
Nobody ever sent me a reminder text, which I'm not saying I expect, but like, if you're going to go ahead and give me a no pick, at least, shoot me a quick text. Hey, I didn't get your pick. And then, 5 minutes later, it's no script,
Do you have an interest in becoming a sports reporter? Would you want to be asking high-profile coaches and players questions in person? Are you a college student looking to break into the sports media industry and looking to write about your favorite team? The Eastern Observer is looking for interested candidates to join the family for college credit. And we need somebody on the Essential Wrestling Podcast Football Survivor team because I need to stop picking teams. Look no further. Aspiring writers, social media specialists, content creators, etc. can inquire by emailing eosports3@gmail.com. We are looking forward to having you join the Eastern Observer family. the Black Cats NYC, the official band of the Eastern Observer. Please go to any one of these music providers, Pandora, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, anywhere that you get your music. You can get the Black Cats NYC, their album, Free Cake, out now. Play loud. As always, the Essential Wrestling Podcast is sponsored by Pro Wrestling Pick'em, the internet leader in sports entertainment pick'em pools. Join us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast public pool to play against us or create a private pool with you and your friends. ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And guys, she'll like it too. Join us back here next week for episode 122 at 5 p.m. on all of our viewing options. And while you're here now watching or listening, please make sure that you like this episode and subscribe to the Eastern Observer to make sure you get updates on all of our shows and news articles. Please hit the like button. It's all about the algorithm. And speaking of which, please make sure you join us back just 2 days from now, this Thursday, October 7th at 5 p.m. We're going to get Bound for Glory. It's just due. And we're going to give it its own show. It's been about a 17, 18, 19-year history of their version of WrestleMania, the Super Bowl. It's even bigger than the Rolling Stones. So please make sure you join us Thursday at 7 p.m. Thursday, October 7th at 5 p.m. on all of our viewing options. John, anything before we get out of here?
Looking forward to Bound for Glory, and even more looking forward to talking about it tomorrow.
Sounds good. John Smith.
You mean Thursday, right, John?
Yeah, talking about it Thursday.
Exactly.
I'm good.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Alexa Bliss, we love you. Larry Steve, forever in our hearts. Zaya Brookside, the Queen of Europe, coming 2023. I really got to find a picture. I got to get back on the Tegan Knox train here because she's got to be the fourth person for Team Bailey in War Games. If they're going that route on War Games, you got Bianca, whoever the champion. You got Bianca, you got Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Candice LeRae. Got to have Tegan going with damage control. Oh, it's just Tegan and Dakota back. Oh, but then in War Games, like Tegan might be twitching, getting into that cage with Dakota. Or maybe like the bell. You know what? I'll go out first this time. Tegan goes into the ring. But I'll start. I don't even want to go in the cage. I'll start the match. I don't want to go. So, anyway, thank you so much for joining us. John DeConnie, take us home.
Thanks for joining us, and as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
So they're saying like the thing with Maddox is like 30 minutes in. I'm like, 30 minutes? Come on.
Nobody lasts that long.
Just cut together.